We've got another new firmware update from Yaesu for the FTX 1F and the FTX Optima, and they say they fixed some things. Let's check it out, this time on Ham Radio Tube. So let's take a look here. We're going to go to Yaesu.com. We're going to click this amateur radio. We're going to go to HF transceivers and amplifiers. We're going to go to the FTX series, and then we can scroll down to where it says files. And we've got a few different files. Here's the COM ports if you need them for you Winblows users. But we've got the firmware upgrade manual. We have the firmware update information. And we have the actual firmware update. So let's take a look at the firmware update information, which I have already downloaded right here. Implement improvements on 6.27.25. They say they added APRS message function. So all you APRS guys, maybe you can do APRS with it now. It supports the ATOS 128 auto tune with the FTX 1 Optima. That is only for the Optima, as the FTX 1F already works with the ATOS. So looks like they added some functionality there for all you guys that want to use the ATOS with the Optima. Displays the selected HF antenna connector number at the top of the screen. So that would be for the Optima, as the Optima has two HF connectors and a VHF UHF. Improved the APRS beacon reception sensitivity. This is something my arch nemesis KM4ACK discussed in one of his previous videos. Fixed issues with GPS coordinates not being displayed correctly. I don't have the dongle, so not a big deal for me. Improved noise blanker characteristics. That's always a good thing. Here's one that I care about. Fixed issue with volume not being adjustable while CW message or voice memory screen is displayed. That's huge for me. That's really the only issue that I'm having still with this radio. Fixed issue with sub-side receiving sound being output during split operation. Fixed issue with setting menu not being backed up to SD card properly, and other minor fixes. So how do you do all this? Well, we're going to go back to the Yaesu.com files here. This FTX1_USA_firmware_update 2025-06, that is the actual zip file you want to download, but you probably also want to download the firmware upgrade manual, which I have done right here. Now, if you haven't already, you need to have a micro SD card in the radio, and it can be no larger than, I think, 32 gig. Otherwise, it won't work. Ask me how I know. So I have a micro SD card in here. We're going to long press the function button. We're going to go to the extension settings, and we're going to click on SD card if you need to format this. And you're going to have the radio format the SD card for you. So under format, hit done, and then hit OK. We're going to check our software version. I am on display version 02, main 04, DSP 01, SDR 03. So now I need to take the SD card out of the radio, and I'm going to insert it into, I can't believe it went in the proper way the first time, just a little SD card reader here so I can connect it to my computer. So you'll go ahead and download this file right here. That's going to be a zip file, which I have done right here. And on a Mac, we just double click them and they unzip. And once we have this unzipped, we can go ahead and double click in here. It does give you the update manual if you need to read that, but we're just interested in these .sfl files. So I'm going to highlight all of those and copy them. And then we can go into the FTX drive. I'm going to double click this and we can see all these, and I'm just going to paste in here. Now it looks like it's kind of pasting it in these capture things. It's not. We don't want to paste them into any of these folders. That's just kind of where it put it. If we go to the icon view here, we can see they're completely separate and not in these folders. That's the way we want them. Now I can eject this disk from my computer. We'll go ahead and put it back in the radio. And then we can turn the radio on. We'll go ahead and long press the function button. And we're going to go to extension settings, SD card, firmware update. And this will populate everything that's ready. So we can actually touch all of these so we can update all of them at once, and hit update and then hit OK. And it'll go through all of these. So it's going to update the main first, then the display, then the main, then the DSP, then the SDR. And I don't have the Optima, so it's not going to do anything for the OPT file. But if you have the Optima, it would have that as well. So we'll just wait until this is done. So there we see display is finished. Now it's doing the main. And after several minutes, it did take a while, the main is done. Now we're on to the DSP. And lastly, the SDR. And now the firmware update is complete. The radio is restarting, but we're not done yet. We've still got one more step. And if you're on the Optima, the firmware update manual says to proceed to step 20, which is actually step 21, and do the Optima settings next. We don't have the Optima here at Casa K-Murder, so we're going to reset the transceiver. I've backed everything up. Hopefully it works. We're going to press the back and the fine keys, maybe, while turning the radio on. And it should reset everything, which is really, really annoying. But let's see if it fixed anything. For me, messages, when I'm in here, I couldn't adjust the volume. Now I can. That's fantastic. Okay, good. That works. Let's see if I can restore any of my settings. Repeaters, I want to put those back in there. Maybe they're just there. Let's find out. No, they're not. So we got to go back and load them, presumably. I don't want to overwrite it. Who knows? They use some weird verbiage here. But if I get my repeaters back, I won't have to reprogram this. It's really annoying, though, because I might have to go through and like redo all the settings that I have for every single band. We'll find out. File loaded. It's restarting, maybe. All right. But see how it said FTX there? It used to say my call sign. Okay, there are my repeaters, so that's good. And now let's see if I can go to SD card. And I saved the menus. Let's go to menu load. I called it my menus. Hit overwrite. Processing, file loaded. I don't know what my menus are, but hopefully it's everything I had set. Yeah, there it is. There's my call sign. Okay. So it brings it back to normal. And I had the D level set differently for all of them. So yeah, like minus 13, that's probably where it was on 40 meters. So looks like everything's good in terms of that. Let's see. Let me figure out where the APRS stuff is. So I just sent a message from this VGC to the Yaesu, and I did get an acknowledgement, as you can see right there. And if we go to our APRS memory list or message list, whatever this is called, we're going to select that one and just hit reply because I sent hi FTX. So then maybe push the function button. There that is. See, Yaesu, this is not how people message. Clear this field. Why are we doing this? Then I'll put hi. No, we can't because this touchscreen sucks. Hi VGC. We'll just say that and hit enter. And then I think it's the message transmit. There it is. This one just got it. So let's scroll over and see. We have an unread message there. Hi VGC. So there you are. APRS works with the FTX. So there you go. Firmware updates. Thanks for watching. My name is Mike, K8MRD. We'll see you next time on Ham Radio Tube 73.